What up, everyone? We in here, PFC 205, I want to say. Premier League Fantasy Soccer Talk coming to you live. I'm here with Huss, our fantasy expert. What's up, Huss?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So we're going to get into it right away. No time wasting this week. Let's discuss. Hold on. Let me pull up that note real quick. The top scorer this week, man, absolutely unbelievable job. FC Wombolo doing it big. He breaks triple digits, gets himself 102 points this week. Well done. Beautiful stuff. All right, Huss, let's get into the top five. Who are the top five in the league so far?
Oh boy, my arch enemy from last year representing this year. I made a shout out for him back when he and I were both 16th. I said we're both going to make a big run to the front. It might actually happen. We got Wayne Spiteri, Team Violence, up in first. Got 88 points on the game week, 688 total. But that's all right. I'll be joining you soon. Second place, we got Kevlar Ravens. Marty McFly, 77 points on the game week. He is tied for first at 688 points overall. Then we got third place, Wayne Powell, Wayne's Winners, 57 points overall. 57 points on the week, 681 points overall. In fourth place, we got ABCDEFC, Sean Maroney, 68 points for the week, 680 points total. And then we got fifth place, Ali FC, Mohammed Helmi, 62 points for the week, 680 points overall. And as we're just talking, it's a crazy year right now. We got the top 10. Top 10 is separated by 15 points. So anyone, if you pick the right captain, anyone can be first place.
Brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. It's tight at the top. I still have ways to go to get in there, but I'm working on it week by week. Let's talk about where the PFC hosts rank so far this season. We got Huss leading the PFC table in 17th place, 84 points on the week.
Seventh
place, sorry. Disrespectful. 84 points on the week, 676 overall. We got Al in 21st place with 48 on the week, 628 overall. Fareed in 37th place, clawing his way to the top. Got himself a fat 96 points this week, 602 overall. Got myself in 54th place, back in the bottom half of the table. 55 points on the week, 572 overall. And Tom still dragging in 60th place. Got himself 74 impressive points, but he's sitting on 559 overall this season. Let's get into this week. Last week's buy, keep, sell results, Huss.
Yeah, I was just wondering real quick, has Toomey even been on the first page yet this year?
No, he hasn't. maybe on the first day before anyone plays. You know, when it's like alphabetical.
Yeah, when he was like the first person to sign up.
Exactly. Kind of like Arsenal, when Arsenal's on top alphabetically before the season starts. That's the closest they get to the top.
Oh, that's brilliant. So what were we talking about? We're talking about favorable matchups?
No, we're talking about last week's buy, keep, sell risk.
Oh, yes. Buys, keep, sell. We did pretty good. I was really happy with this. For the buys, we got 21 points overall. So we had an 8, a 7, a 0, and a 6. The 0 was just because I believe someone didn't play. Oh, it was Erickson. So he almost scored at least one, so that could have been another 7. So we did have a good shout out. We almost got 28 points, but we got 21 overall for the buys. Keeps, we got 27 points, leading the way with Callum Wilson. Oh, boy. Thank you. You saved our keeps. Sells, 2. We got 3 zeros and 1 2. So we really hit the mark on that one. And then the risk picks, as they're risky. We got 11 points for the week on those guys. But, hey, it is what it is. I was really happy with our picks of last week.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, man. Like you said, that's why it's a risk. Didn't pan out this week, but it's panned out plenty of times before. All right, let's go into favorable matchups for the upcoming match day 13.
And right above my notes right here, I just want to do a reminder for everyone. There's a game on Friday. So don't think you can go till Saturday morning. Make sure all your picks are done by Friday afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, wake up after that, that turkey sleep, that turkey coma you're in. Wake up Friday morning and get that lineup in.
Maybe even do it before you eat, just so you don't fall asleep till like Saturday. All right, for favorable matchups, we got West Ham versus Leicester. We got United versus Brighton, Spurs versus West Brom, Huddersfield versus City. Only 4 favorable matchups this week. And for the unfavorable matchups, we got Palace versus Stoke. Who knows how that one's going to go. Newcastle versus Watford. 2 teams that are not so much overachieving, but they're impressing this year.
Yep.
Swansea versus Bournemouth. That was a tricky one because Bournemouth is flying right now. Liverpool versus Chelsea because, look, they have a weak defense, Liverpool, but they always seem to play Chelsea pretty well. And both teams have ridiculous offenses. So that could have been favorable just because there should be a lot of goals. But I feel as if both teams hunkered down. So I'm not sure exactly with that game.
Yeah, you never know what top teams playing each other, man. It could be 0-0, 1-1, or like we've seen it before, it could be 4-0, So I tend to stay away from those type of games, but definitely there are some quality players in those 2 teams. So it might be worth taking that risk.
And then we have Southampton versus Everton, and then Burnley versus Arsenal. All right, let's get into positions.
We're going to talk about buy, keep, sell risk for each position, starting with the goalkeeper, then defenders, midfielders, then forwards. Huss, take it away. Who are we buying for our goalkeeper?
Goalkeepers. First, we have Ederson, Man City. Look, it kind of goes against what we say because every week I feel as if we say you can't waste picks on defenders or keepers. You have to have offensive players with City because they always seem to get massive amounts of points. But this was almost an easy pick. Look, City's going against Huddersfield, Southampton, West Ham. Huddersfield seemed to give the most threat out of those 3. And I just see 3 clean sheets happening. I'd be very surprised if those 3 score against City. Oh, yeah, and his price is also 5.5 and 4.9% owned by. So it made sense on paper, but still, I would say go for the midfielders and strikers for City.
Cool.
Keeping Hugo Lloris, 5.5, and he's owned by 9.5% of the game. Tottenham, they have West Brom at home, Leicester away, Watford away, Stoke at home, Brighton home. That's 5 good matchups. I think Watford is probably going to give them the hardest when they're away. But West Brom right now, West Brom is, well, they suck. West Brom just straight up suck.
Yeah, they just got rid of their manager, Tony Pulis, who had given him stability last year. It looked like they were going to build on something this year. Unfortunately, so far, it has not panned out for the poor Potters. But we'll see who comes in, who can shake it up. But until then, there's 2 ways it can go. They can get that fresh breath of air and come out and play, a little more free, away from the shackles of the Tony Pulis system. Or they could crumble. They could absolutely crumble, missing that stability of a Tony Pulis system and give up 4, 5, 6 goals. Who knows?
And you know what? Toby, he's not playing again, but they have so much depth on defense that they should be able to handle West Brom with ease, especially with Rose coming back. He's been talking about how he wants many more minutes. So if he gets a start as well, I think Lloris is going to have a great front line in front of him.
Agreed.
Okay, selling. Oh, man, there was a few. There's actually a couple. We got Jonas Lossell from Huddersfield, and then you got Joey Hart of West Ham. I couldn't decide between the 2 of them because, again, Joey Hart's playing Leicester at home, but Leicester's scary offensively. They can put a few goals behind you really quick. But the main one is Huddersfield because Huddersfield is taking on City. Again, anyone that's playing City is pretty much an automatic sell for me, unless if you have a good price, you can hunker them down on the bench. But Jonas, 4.6 priced, and then he is owned by 9.8% of the game. Joey Hart is 4.4 and 8.5%. So either one, stay away. Maybe Joey Hart you can put on the bench, but at the same time, he just seems like a waste because West Ham can do nothing about anything on the field.
Yeah, they're struggling, man. They're struggling.
And then for the risk picks, the easy pick for me was Begovic. You know, Bournemouth, they're going against Swansea away. Tammy Abraham, he's a little banged up. I was kind of wrong with my 6 weeks because I got a little confidence. Did I say 6 weeks? I meant 6 days maybe because he might be playing.
Yeah, you got a little carried away, Huss. Hustradamus.
So you never know. Maybe he'll tweak something. Maybe he will be out for 6 weeks. So I'm not going to go for Begovic. That seems like the easy pick. You know me. I hate doing the easy picks. I'm going to go with Speroni. And Crystal Palace, even though that they're in the dumpster right now, they're facing Stoke at home, who's also in the dumpster. They got Brighton away, West Brom away, Bournemouth home, Watford home, Leicester away, Swansea away. So they don't face any top 6 teams for a while, but you got Watford, who else? Bournemouth can hit just Leicester maybe, but this is why it's a risk pick. You don't exactly know how Palace is going to react to these teams. Speroni is only 4.0, priced at 4. He's owned by 3.7%. Look, he hasn't let up more than 2 goals in 5 starts for Palace. And the odd thing is he's let up 2 goals against Everton and 2 goals against West Ham, but only 1 against Chelsea, Tottenham, and Newcastle. So he does almost better against better teams, or maybe they pack it in more against the better teams. But with Stoke coming to Palace, I think there's a good chance that you see a clean sheet.
Cool. Love it. Let's move on to defenders. Who are we buying?
Defender, John Joe Kenny. I know a lot of you may not know who that is, but I'll give you a hint. It was either between him and Baines for me because they have good fixtures. He plays for Everton. He's pretty much the implant for Coleman, Seamus.
Mm-hmm.
So right now he gets up the field decently. He's not too threatening up front, but when Everton have Southampton has been crap offensively. Defensively, they've been all right, but then Everton has West Ham at home, Huddersfield at home. So I'm looking at this guy. The reason why I didn't pick Baines, because Baines takes penalties, free kicks, all that mumbo jumbo, but he's priced at 5.8. John Joe, on the other hand, where is he? He is priced at 4.3. You can't beat that, honestly. He's only owned by 0.2% of the game. So if he does well, you're not only gaining ground on people, but you're saving a lot of money at 4.3. He could become a bargain buy, especially if Everton start turning it around.
Yeah, it reminds me of last season's Davies when he came on for an injured Danny Rose. No one knew who this kid was. He came on. He was just like a plug and play. Got me so many clean sheets, so many points. It was great.
All right, and we got keepers. We got Smalling, Captain Smalling, as we like to call him. He plays for United. If you don't know that by now, well, you know what? Keep tuning in. You have a lot to learn. He's priced at 5.4. He's owned by 2.8% of the game. He started the last 6 matches, and only United have let up the fewest goals with Liverpool at home this year. They've only let up 1 goal at home. So it seems not impossible to score against United because Newcastle did it, but you also saw what happened right after they scored. Newcastle got pummeled. So it doesn't help Smalling with the points in fantasy, but I think they learned the lesson. They got Brighton at home. I don't see Brighton doing much. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree, man. Brighton's struggling a bit. Started off strong, but yeah, I don't see them doing much in that game.
Now, selling. There's 3 players to look at. Zabaleta, Zanka. Those guys, I know I'm going back and forth with West Ham and Huddersfield just because same thing. It's the fixtures. And then fool me once, shame on me. Sorry, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Maybe 3 times.
All right, George Bush.
Oh my, yeah, no, seriously. I've been fooled like 4 times by this dude, Hagazi. I had him as well.
Enough. Yep, enough. Not much to be said here. Sell this dude. West Brom defense is fraudulent this year.
Oh,
Started off hot. We call that a honey dickin', where you think he's going to be good the rest of the year, but he had, what, 2 good weeks? And since then, he's been garbage.
oh my God, it's awful. And look, Zabaleta is priced at 4.9, owned by 1.8%. Zonka is 4.6 with 7.4%. And then Higazi is 4.6 with 19.3%, but owned by clubs in the game. So that 19, I feel
that's perfect. Now's the time to jump off when that 20% still has him, or 19% of people still have him. That means you're sort of clawing the distance between you and 19% of the table. It's great.
Yeah, because if you sell him, you get John Joe. And if Everton do well, you actually saved yourself 0.3. That's who I'm probably going to go for, John Joe, this week. I'm probably going to use one of my 2 transfers, switch out Higazi and get John Joe. But
or
Higazi.
Jonzo.
What?
Or Jonzo.
Yeah, John Joe.
All right.
So risk pick of the week, we got Stephen Ward with Burnley. The thing is, they're facing Arsenal. He's priced at 5, owned by 21.3% of the game. Look, Burnley is at home. They've been impressing. Defensively, they've been well. Stephen Ward can get up the field. I would not be surprised if they get a clean sheet against Arsenal at home. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal get 3 goals against Burnley.
Look, real quick side note. So last week, I blew up my team, used the wild card. I picked up 3 Burnley defenders. And it worked out because last week they got a clean sheet. But I picked them up knowing that this was the gamble week. I can't afford to drop them and then pick them up again next week. So I'm going to ride it out. Burnley at home against Arsenal. 3 defenders on the field. I'm really hoping for a clean sheet. But if I don't get one, I wouldn't be surprised. Just like you're saying, Huss, this could be 0-0, but it probably won't be with Arsenal, especially after they handled Tottenham last week the way they did. I think they're playing with their tails up. But Burnley does have a bit of a mini fortress.
And like you said, after Arsenal, they get Bournemouth away, Leicester away, Watford home, Stoke home, Brighton away before they play Spurs United. So Bournemouth, Leicester, Watford, that's also a pretty tough stretch to go on after Arsenal, but it's not a top 16. So I don't know whether I want Burnley to win now.
I really want Burnley to win.
No, I want them to win. I just don't know if I want Arsenal. Yeah, I could have Arsenal score 3 goals, and then Burnley will score 4. So it'll hurt you, and they'll still help.
That's totally possible. Yeah, Burnley scoring 4.
So moving on, we got midfielders. And speaking of Arsenal, look, as much as I don't know if he's going to score, he looked like a top 10 player this past week against Spurs. Alexis Sanchez. He's priced at 11.8. He's owned by 2.7% of the game. This guy, when he turns it on, he really is probably top 2 best players in the league in England. This guy is outrageous.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, man. 100%. He's a beast. When he's hot, he's hot. Everyone had him last year. He was killing it, playing the number 9 position, listed as a midfielder this year. But off to a slow start. But it's only a matter of time, just like Azad. It's only a matter of time before these guys catch on. They truly are world-class players.
And you know what? The only thing that really separated me, separates Alexis Sanchez and other players right now, is his price. I'm very quick to buy other players. Alexis Sanchez, I'm going to balk on just for the fact that he's 11.8. If you want a good buy, even look at Sane and Sterling if you don't have them yet from City. They're midfielders. I mean, Huddersfield away, it looks like City, they're going to score 4 or 5 goals every game. They're going to average probably 4 goals on the year. 4 goals a game on the year. It's just Alexis Sanchez right now, though. If you have money to spend, that's a guy that you need to look at.
Yeah, for $11, should be scoring every other game, or getting an assist as well every other game. So I don't think he's at that pace yet. So I'd hold off on it. I agree, Huss.
And then keep the man, the myth. In 20 years, the legend, Paul Pogba. The guy's priced at 8. He's owned by 13.6%. He was one of the top incoming players last week. the guy's back. I mean, who's United playing? I'll have to get into this real quick. United's playing Brighton at home, Watford away. They got Arsenal and City, but then they go in for a big stretch with Bournemouth, West Brom, Leicester, Burnley, Southampton, Everton. So even Arsenal shouldn't really scare United. It's only the Man City game that I'm looking at Pogba thinking he could very well get a goal and or assist every single game except for the City one. So that we're looking at the next 10 matches or 8 matches.
Yep. Agreed.
Selling. Oh boy. I did it before. He burned me big time. I don't know. I don't know if I should have learned my lesson or not, but Pascal Gross. I mean, they're facing United. They're facing United. I think this time I got it right because Brighton has United away, then Palace home, which he can probably do something. Liverpool home, Huddersfield away, which is going to be tough, both those. Then you get Spurs away. Then you got Burnley, Watford, Chelsea. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8 matches. And even after Chelsea, you got Newcastle. It just seems relentless right now. Except for Palace, they're playing tough teams. I'm talking about top 10 teams that are going to give you a hard fight every single time you fight them or play them. I guess fight them too. Just straight up fight him. But he's priced at 5.9. He's owned by 19.4%. This might be the time I try to cash in for the profit. It's just tough because I've had him for so long, and I think I'm just going to have to say goodbye for now and pick him up maybe in the new year after maybe Bournemouth. I'm looking at game week 22.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Well, gross. Get out of here.
And then risk pick of the week for midfielders, we got Eden Hazard, 10.6. He's owned by 5.5% of the game. Look, Poole usually play Chelsea as we talked about earlier. They play them well. It's a risk because is it too soon? What I mean by that is Hazard has 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 5 matchups. He just got a goal in Champions League. The guy looks like he's coming back to form. But is it too soon right now against Poole to say he's going to score week in, week out? Because after Poole, you got Swansea, Newcastle, West Ham, Huddersfield, Southampton, Everton, Brighton, Stoke. So I promise you, next week, it would have to be you'd be very surprised right now next week if Eden Hazard is not my buy of the week for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, the schedule's super friendly for him. So yeah, I would sit out this week. But like Huss is saying, he could definitely do something this week. I mean, he is a beast. But it's against Liverpool. Liverpool try to play up. So I would stay away this week. But yeah, next week I think it's a no holds barred. Go for him.
And honorable mention for risk pick. We got Mark Pugh of Bournemouth. I'm doubling down on Bournemouth. I went with Callum Wilson last week. I'm going Mark Pugh this week. Price at 4.8, owned by 0.1% of the game. Now, the fact about it is when he plays 65 minutes or more, Bournemouth has 3 wins and 1 draw and 0 losses. When he plays less than that, Bournemouth has 1 win, 0 draws, and 7 losses. He's played the last 2 matches. I think I brought this up 2 weeks ago, or was it 3 weeks ago? I was like, oh, I like this Pew start when we're watching the game. And I started watching him last year when he went off. I think there was like 3 weeks he went off real quick. Had I think like 7 or 10 points each week. This guy, I can't guarantee he's going to get tons of points, but I think Bournemouth plays so much better when he's on the field.
I agree, man. Pew is nice.
Yeah, and with Swansea with Bournemouth going to Swansea and Swansea having their struggles, I wouldn't be surprised if he could find his way into an assist or maybe even a goal.
Cool.
Forwards, and I know that this seems sort of easy, but because of his recent struggles, except for Champions League, Harry Kane. Look, he's priced at 12.8. That's outrageous for a guy that can struggle. If he's not 100%, I usually try to stay away from plays like that, how we talked about Alexis Sanchez. He's owned by 37.9% of the game. but Spurs have West Brom at home. Then Leicester, Watford, Stoke, Brighton. And then they have City, but after that they have Burnley, Southampton, West Ham, Swansea. So except for City and a Burnley and Watford, I mean, let's just consider this week right now. West Brom. Oh, my God. How many times can we say West Brom is just crap? I don't care if they get a new manager or not. I don't know if that team will actually bring that extra energy, that bump, that motivational bump that we always talk about the new manager bringing.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's going to be interesting to see West Brom, how they react.
And we'll learn a lot about the Spurs, because if they lose to Arsenal, then they come back to win against Dortmund, and they can't get a win against West Brom. There's a lot of questions to be said about the Spurs this year.
We need to get you a Spurs jar. Now, by Spurs jar, I mean every time you say the Spurs, you need to put $1 in that jar. Because they're not from Dallas, Texas. They're from London, England. It's Spurs, not the
Spurs.
Spurs. Just like you don't say the Arsenal, the Man United, or it's not the Spurs.
Whatever.
Give me a hard time, Bus. We're going to get a Spurs jar for the studio.
All right, that's cool. I'll bring some. We're talking about are we talking about dollars? Are we talking about quarters?
We're talking about dimes. Talking about pounds.
Pounds. All right, sorry. I have to actually exchange my money.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're gonna make it hard for you. You got to go to the bank, get an exchange, and then come drop a pound in it.
That's maybe I'll drop a different type of pound in there.
So nasty.
So after that, I lost my train of thought. We got Vardy. We're keeping Vardy. He's priced at 8.5, 13.7% owned. Leicester have West Ham away. Spurs, but after Spurs, you get Burnley, Newcastle, Southampton, Palace. So they got some good fixtures coming up. West Ham, I mean, I don't know what David Moyes is going to do with West Ham, but they just seem to be tripping over their own dicks. I mean, they just can't get anything right.
Yeah, they just need to stabilize. That's what it comes down to. They need to sort out that defense, and Moyes, I think, is really good at that. I don't know if they're going to get much offense from the team, but I think Moyes brings that stability. The players respect him. Granted, he hasn't had his last 2 jobs haven't resulted in that greater performance, but his pedigree in the EPL, I still think he's one of the most solid managers in the league. So I think West Ham will be better for bringing him in. I don't know if that'll be enough though to save them this year.
Okay. And then selling, we have Jay Rodriguez from West Brom for selling. This guy has 2 goals on the year. He's absolute crap. He's 5.6 priced. He's owned by 0.8% of the game, which is rightfully so. And when it comes down to it, I think everyone knows how I feel about Robson Kanu. I think the guy is a lightning bolt. Just put him on the field. And I think that's where Tony Pulis really fell short. I don't think he gave Robson Kanu enough chances. And he gave Jay Rodriguez came from Southampton, I believe. Yeah. And I think that was a crap buy.
Yeah, look, it was a risk, man. Jay Rodriguez hasn't played much football the last couple of years through injury. But he does have a bit of swag about him. I don't know if he'll have enough to save the club, but yeah, it hasn't so far. I can agree with you. It's been a crap buy, but I don't know if I'll be saying that after 38 games.
Look, I mean, West Brom also had Rondon and Robson Kanu. When it comes down to it, I think they could have went for someone younger than Jay Rodriguez. Robson Kanu, he has not played. He had 1 game at 63 minutes, 1 game at 58. Besides that, he had not played any game for more than 32 minutes. I think that is ridiculous. This guy, he can be good if you trust him. I think they should have spent more of that money that they spent on Jay Rodriguez on a better holding midfielder than Gareth Barry, who, well, he should retire or leave. Just go to a different league or maybe championship. Like, I don't know, but Gareth Barry just seems like
he's old, man. The legs are running out. He's almost, I think he's got one more year in him, and then he's gonna either retire or pull a John Terry and move down a division. But I like Gareth Bale. I don't want to be too hard on him. It's just an age thing. He's been a servant for the Premier League, an absolute legend. I think he has more games than what was it, Giggs, right? He broke Giggs'
Yep.
record, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a servant, man. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I agree with what you're saying, but yeah, I can't beat up too much on Gareth Bale.
Okay. I guess. I mean, I'm a fan of him too. It just sucks that he was put into that position where, first off, Fletcher was there and he did a really good job. Now you bring a guy who is past his prime, maybe has 1, maybe 2 years left, and you want him to hold down the fort like he did.
Yeah.
I mean, like Fletcher did. I don't see that happening. They should have taken that money for Jerry Yates and just bought someone, a younger guy, someone better, or get somebody on loan to hold down that fort.
I agree. Go ahead.
And that last, are you going to add to that, or we going into the risk pick?
No, I was gonna go into a risk pick. I was gonna cheat real quick. Do you have something to say about that one, or are you done?
Risk pick of the week. I'm tripling down on this dude. He's a risk pick. Last week he was the keep pick, and I'm going with him again for the risk pick. Bournemouth, Callum Wilson. He's priced at 6, owned by 1.9%. Am I going to say that? Look, the reason why he's not a keep and he's a risk is because I don't know if he's going to score again. But he's facing Swansea, Burnley, Southampton, Palace, and you all know how I feel about the guy. I really, really like him as a player. I think that if he stays, I even said it. I'm not sure if we said it on Fantasy Talk or one of the weekly shows. If he didn't get injured, I truly believe he would not be on Bournemouth right now. He'd be looking at maybe Everton or even Liverpool as maybe a backup. Maybe they would have sold Sturridge or brought him in. I know it's kind of like substituting one for the other because they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
They both get hurt. They both have talent. But I like Callum Wilson. And look, love can be blind. But I'm going with him.
Look, I'm going to say this. We have a new entry this week. His name's Ian Anderson. He's been pretty vocal on our YouTube posts, throwing in his 2 cents. He loves pineapple, by the way. Shout out to Tom with the pineapple. He loves your Callum Wilson shout. Give you credit for that too. His team name, one of the greatest names of the league so far, I think. It's Dele Alli Oxenfree. I absolutely love that name. Had me chuckling when he told me on the YouTube comments. I just wanted to give him a shout out. He's giving you props about Callum Wilson. He's been listening to our fantasy talk, and he knows how smitten you are about this guy. And look, man, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. This dude's doing work. If it wasn't for injuries, he might be on, Everton or a team maybe even higher than that.
Yeah, I feel like he would have been someone unbelievable for Southampton if he stayed injury-free.
Good shout.
Put him in there rather than Gabby, because Gabby can score great goals. It reminds me of when Mario came to Liverpool. Someone described him as being able to score great goals, but he's not a great goal scorer.
Yeah.
Same thing maybe with Gabby. You know how I feel about Charlie Austin. Love the dude. But him and Callum Wilson, I think those are the two guys that could turn Southampton's offensive worries around.
Love it. All right, that wraps it up for our Buy, Keep, Sell segment of the show. Let's wrap up with Captains Us. Who are you captaining this week?
This one's tough. I was actually really thinking about this. I think it would be only – I'm staying away from City players because I feel like any City player is – you can't hate on that. So I don't want to say Kane because he's struggling. I'm going to go with your boy, Paul Pogba.
Love it. Love it. I'm actually going with the United boy as well, Lukaku. I think Lukaku playing Brighton at home. I think he's going to make a bit of noise. Now, I'm going to say this. Ibrahimovic is back, so be careful with Lukaku. They're saying that somehow, some way they're going to play at the same time, whether that means Lukaku goes to the right wing or Zlatan comes in as a shadow or number 10 deep lying forward. I don't know. So I'm captaining Lukaku with a bit of hesitancy. I'm going to keep a very close eye on the news, try to make sure he's actually going to start. I think he's going to start. I don't see why he wouldn't start, although he's playing Champions League today. So maybe Mourinho will be convinced to give him a rest, but Mourinho's not really that type of dude. So I'm hoping he plays. If he plays, Lukaku's my captain.
Okay, that is a great shout. Hopefully he does play because I have him in the fantasy draft against you guys. I really don't want to have to sell him or try to trade him. Maybe I can trade with one of the other guys.
Look, I'll take him. I have Pogba and Zlatan in the draft league, so I'll take a third United guy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's real quick. Let's look at this. Okay. If you have him, and then who else? Who do you have? Oh, don't you have Salah? Oh,
Salah, De Bruyne. I have a boss midfield, dude. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, you have
Sorry, guys, we're
Firmino.
taking you on the inside. Who do
Yeah.
I have?
You have Firmino, Ibra, and Chicharito as your forwards. Oh man, you're hurting up top.
Yeah, I think I might play a 3-6-1, dude. Except that's not an allowable formation. So I guess I got to play 3-5-2. So I got Ibrahimovic and Firmino up top, Pogba, Coutinho, Salah, Eriksen, and De Bruyne, Davies, Company, and Valencia in the back.
You know what? We could maybe work something out where Salah and Firmino could come this way, and Lukaku and maybe Mahrez could go to you. We could look into that.
Not Mahrez, dude. Are you kidding me? Mahrez or Salah?
Who has more points, Firmino or Mahrez?
I don't know. I don't want Mahrez. He plays on Leicester, bro. He plays on a garbage team.
Okay, maybe Fabregas then.
No, that's even worse. Look,
what?
We'll take this. Yeah, he's deep lying, dude. He never scores goals. We'll take this offline, guys. This is basically who we are offline. If you guys think we just study for the show and then, the rest of the time we're sort of doing something else, nah. We're texting back and forth about soccer all day, every day. We're sitting here recording a podcast about Premier League fantasy, and we're trying to make a trade for our draft teams. So we really appreciate your passion, guys. We have just as much passion. We appreciate you guys listening. Please keep downloading, keep telling your friends, keep telling your mom about the show. And if ever possible, please give us a positive iTunes review. That goes a long, long way for the future of our show. So we appreciate the support, guys, and we'll catch you next time.